Oh, I'm invisible. I've gained the power of invisibility. Oh, dear, 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 dear. There I am. So, good morning, lads, lasses, and you non-binary folk. How are we all feeling today, eh? Feeling chipper? Feeling spry? Feeling ready to fly into the future? Or whatever the concept of this stream is supposed to be. Drinking, moving, cooking, and an old man's dreams. I was gonna say and the old man in between, but I don't know, it sounded sort of suspicious. It sounded sort of suspicious. You know? But yes, it's very interesting to see. Who knows what it's all about? Anyway, it's a good morning. It is a good morning. Oh, excuse me. Yes, one thing I haven't been able to do before the start of today's stream is actually make the description of the drink, which just means I'm gonna have to do a bit of writing. Which now means you get to see how I come up with all those things. So, sometimes I sit here, if it's an alcohol especially, I'll often just sit here going, breathing it in, you know, having a sip, smell of it, then have a little bit of a sip, then a bit of a smell, then a bit of a sip, and as I try and sort of create a flavor profile in my head. With tea, it's very similar, but if I'm feeling a bit, sort of, what's the word for it, pressured for time, often, I'll just go to the site. So I'll make my own thoughts, and then I'll go to the site and see how they describe it, and then I'll sort of take what's similar between our two descriptions and put it in the description of the drink, if I describe the drink at all, in flavor. I was just about to say, it's not... I was just about to say I'm changing that. I didn't get around to changing it this morning, J-Heg. That's yesterday's. Not yesterday's, 2 days ago. It was that tea, though. That was... Thank you, though, for using it. You're so nice, J-Heg. I was just talking about how I write that. Because I was about to change it. Yes, that's the problem with it being not automatic. I really should have made a list. I should make, like, a flavor profile for all of the teas I have right now. In this sort of amount. And then just, like, copy-paste them from a file. But that's too much. Too easy. And what are you drinking? I was just about to write it. So, today's drink. Always gotta do the YouTube message, because it only lets you do 200 characters with today's drink. Today's drink is the aromatic. Aromatic is the aromatic Himalayan blend from the Tea Center. This is the aromatic blend from, aromatic Himalayan blend. It's from my favorite tea shop, as always. And it has a very classic, sort of light black tea smell. It is a blend of Assam teas, I believe, from India. No, Darjeeling, sorry. That's what I get. So that's where the sort of light, almost floral smell comes from. They are a blend of FTGFOP leaves. By the way, that's a way of classifying tea. FTGFOP. Fig fop. which I cannot remember. Right. It's like finest tippy golden flower orange or something like that. I don't know what the P stands for. Oh, there it is. Finest tippy golden flowery orange pekoe. There you go. The Dutch made this sort of classification system many years ago. The more letters on a line before it, they were sort of describing aspects of the tea itself, you see. Of FT GFOP Darjeeling. Yes, so that's the tea for today. It's a nice little Darjeeling tea. Can't go wrong with a Darjeeling. That's for sure. There we are. Alright, teapot. But yes, I've always quite liked Darjeeling for that. There's sort of almost floral taste to it. Floral taste and smell. Makes it for an interesting tea. Doesn't make it quite delicate though, I find. Doesn't really work when you're eating it with other things. This company recommends to have it as a afternoon wind down tea, and I could see that. It almost has that sort of quality of floralness that you get from something like a chamomile tea. But, unfortunately, I don't do streams in the afternoon, so we're drinking it in the morning, as a morning tea. Which is actually what schools in Australia call first break at school. It's morning tea. Ooh, it is quite strong. They did say it was a lot stronger. Oh. As a floral and as a balance and sweet and of bitter, not bitter, fruit notes. See, this is how I think. I have to, like, sort of keep going back to smelling the tea. Very floral, almost fruity, sort of the dried fruits. Strong. To most type many okay, I won't fit that. To it's many blended. Alright, there you go. That took a little bit longer to write than I expected. There's probably going to be a few grammatical errors. I've never been very much good at catching my own grammatical errors in the first pass. Alright. Very nice. Sorry, how's everyone doing? That was really distracting for about 12 minutes. I'm gonna get rid of my own message. remove my own message. It's gone now. And instead... Bam! Oh, why did it turn into a bloody... That's not a URL, though it probably is somebody's URL. Let's try that one more time. This time, fixing the URL so it doesn't try to think that it's some sort of URL. It's very hard to see on this UI for this program. Okay, let's do it again. There we are. Alright, there we are. Yes! That FTGFOP is a description of tea. I think it was made by the Dutch back in the day, back when the Dutch East India Company existed. Oh, goddammit, I did the wrong thing there. This Japanese keyboard is very confusing. I apologize. And I can't see, I'm telling you. Well, I'm going to leave it like that. The mistakes in it are because I just cannot see... This UI for this program, the StreamerBot program, is so difficult to read. It's got such tiny little letters. I make keeping mistakes. But yes, FGT means finest, golden, tippy, flower, orange. Pikoe, I think, if I remember correctly. So, that is a classification of tea. And it's for describing black teas, that especially ones that come from India and Ceylon and the like. Oh, sorry, Sri Lanka. Those sort of things. Of course, there's the joke that it just means far too good for ordinary people, but it really is more of a description of the physical characteristics of the tea. Because, it's just how, I think it was the Dutch. But the idea is... Yes. It was a whole thing, because you have FOP, flowery orange. Flowery is large leaves. They're typically plucked. GFOP is golden, flowery, large leaf. Golden refers to the golden tip at each of the things. You can actually see some of the golden tips within the picture. If you look quite closely at the picture, you can see the golden part of the golden descriptor. See, you can see these little flecks. They sort of have this orange goldenness to them in real life. I don't know how well it comes off from the photo. It's quite washed out by the bright white surrounding it. But that's the whole thing. You know, finest tippy. Tippy is, yeah, the golden tip. It's tippy is like some, you know, funny, scary. It's sort of like it denotes a sort of strength or a large amount to it. It's tippy. It's got a large golden tip. And then with this one, it's an F, TGFOP, which means it's just an exceptional quality tea. So this is a blend of a few different exceptional quality teas: a first flush, a second flush, and a autumn harvest, I think. Yes. There's one more grade above it, technically, which is special finest tippy golden flowery orange Pikoe, which stands for the fact that this tea is truly unique and rare. And you could even put a 1 next to it to denote an even rarer type of tea. But, you know, I think I've had SFTGFOP before in Australia. It's alright. There are other things, but it's all very fascinating stuff. All comes from how big the leaf is, when they're harvested, And it's sort of like part of like it's like half Chinese system that's fused with the Dutch system, which is fused with the Indian system, which is fused with the Sri Lankan system. Point is, it's a whole big classification system. It's just saying the tea leaves are nice. It's just saying the tea leaves are nice. There. It's a whole thing. It is a whole thing. No one quite knows where the pekoe word comes from. They think it might come from Chinese. Anyway. It's quite nice. It does sort of remind me of the white teas that China sometimes produces. Things like, the silver needles or whatever it's called. That also is it's a white tea, but with extremely sort of floral flavor. White hair, silver needle. The white priest in Fujian province, China. That was quite a nice tea, actually. Oh, somebody on Reddit is not happy with, unimpressed with silver needle white tea. Wow, this person on Reddit is not happy. It's not his pants day, as the person is called. He drank mostly red tea, or black tea. He tried green tea occasionally, with one flavor no matter the variety. I bought a cheap white tea, and realized I don't have the thing, I don't like a green tea. So he made a really expensive order. Oh my god, this guy likes his tea. For a test. He didn't even know if he liked this type of tea. He spent $300 on it. Oh my god. Tried different temperatures, different style. Bland, one measure, not much to discover. Ooh, not much to discover. Ooh. The tea subreddit. $300 was way too much for tea. I really hope it was a lot of tea. Okay, so, this guy bought from a Chinese tea sourcing wholesaler, I hope, but he did buy multiple types of white tea. He bought many types of white tea. Okay, so it wasn't just one tea. He bought $300 worth of different types of tea, which is still an absurd amount of tea. How much is he just drinking tea all day? Does he have morning tea, second morning tea? You know, does he have sunrise tea, morning tea, second morning tea, lunch tea, afternoon tea, late afternoon tea, evening tea, night tea, midnight tea, mid-morning tea? Good God, where the hell is this guy going? He's trying to do it wrong. My cup of tea, tried different temperatures, 80, 90. I thought it was around 80 or 90, but it was steeped for a very long time, I found. I quite liked it. Very floral, very light. Floral, but extremely light. Like almost airy in flavor. Sort of like if you couldn't smell, you wouldn't be able to taste this tea properly. I remember because I made a cup of silver needles tea when I was in quarantine for having COVID. And without my sense of smell, which I only discovered, because it actually has quite a distinct smell. This sort of light floral smell that, even though it's so light and airy, it seems to pervade quite strongly. So when I made this silver needles tea, I didn't notice that I couldn't smell it. Because I didn't realize I couldn't smell. I just thought, oh, it's, you know, I had a bit of a cough recently, maybe my nose is a little bit messed up. But no, I went to smell the tea after I had brewed it, and went, oh my goodness. I have no sense of smell. And then I went to taste it. Tasted like hot water. That's when I discovered, it was because of a silver needles tea that I discovered that during my COVID infection time, I actually lost most of my sense of taste, and all of my sense of time. It's a sense of smell, I mean. Which was really funny. Such a nice tea to waste, too. Tragedy. Sorry for not being late in the late streams. Had things to do. Don't you worry. It was just more Monster Hunter, to be honest. You weren't missing out on much. Unless you really like Monster Hunter. Oh, recently Gaijin Jack came in for a while. You know? Popped his head in. That was quite nice. Been a while. Had a good chat, me and Gaijin Jack, so... quite nice. Also, my sense of taste starts watching Mushoku Tensei. I think public opinion is starting to turn on that anime, to be honest. I've been noticing more and more recently, like, sort of random subreddits complaining about that anime, and I'm really happy about it. I think public opinion is becoming a bit... or I've just happened to be recently, for some reason, running into different echo chambers. Point is... yeah. There are people who disagree with it, yeah. They're also disagreeing with it in a sort of, like, moral sense, that they're like, people act that this is way too good, and by extension, they're sort of... So, yes, quick thing about that. It's a fascinating thing, because I don't like Mushoku Tensei, because it's kind of meh. It's just an old isekai with some, like, nice world building. But, around that, you've got, like, the author's barely disguised fetish, which is a lot of really weird family stuff, and multiple wives, and sort of like a, you know, I'd like to say sex positive, but I don't think that's really the right way to put it. Point is, it's all kind of weird and strange, and the author is clearly putting some really strange stuff into the series. Yeah, no, a lot of people are coming to, especially later parts of the story, which get even more weird. So, let me describe to you something that I read about one of the later things that happens. So I always knew the main character, who's a 30-year-old man in a child's body, gets with several people under 20, and marries 3 ladies. The worst part is, he marries 3 ladies after he promises to be monogamous with one of them. You know, that's just weird. That's just a weird thing to do, and maybe that would be a good thing if, you know, we were going for, like... But the point is, that's me disagreeing with it morally. Weird story. Point is, even if that's, you know, let's take it from a non-moral sense. Maybe it was really well written. Maybe that was the intention, to make you think, this guy's kind of weird. Problem is, nothing really happens. Nothing really happens with that. He just has 3 wives now, and one of them is kind of depressed about the fact that he broke a promise with them. Still doesn't break up with them. Makes sense, though. This author seems to be very much in the opinion of, never divorce. Never divorce. Even if your partner cheats on you. Which is just a really weird stance to take in a book. I don't know. Kind of strange stance to take. We're talking about the child. This is the 30-year-old man in a child's body that convinced his own mother to stay with his father after they found his father had been sleeping with the maid for years. And the first time he slept with the maid may have not have been exactly consensual. Kind of funky. Kind of weird thing to do. My dude, the author of this series, has some strange internalized opinions. Why did you have to mention Mushoku Tensei? This is gonna be the next 30 minutes. Alright, point is, this is an arc. So that maid I mentioned, yeah? So that maid has a kid with the main character's father. Main character's father, yeah, he actually gets a comeuppance. To be honest, the world makes that man suffer. So, you know what? I'll take that. The worst thing is, the world never makes the main character suffer. At least, yeah, no, not really. It does, technically, but it's always like an enemy doing something evil. It's never like the mistakes of his own action. Never divorce the Catholic Church. Yeah, I know, right? It's like the guy's Christian or something. But yes, it's like you just wanted some punishment for how weird this main character acts. But his father gets a bit done in. You know, he becomes a drunken mess after his family get magically teleported across the country. rough times. The whole country gets blown up and half of it disappears. A cool moment in the series is that everyone's just going around their business one day, and then suddenly the equivalent of a magical nuke goes off, and literally everyone in that part of the kingdom that was there when the magical nuke goes off got like teleported randomly around the world. Very cool idea. Like that. I do like series that do sort of allow for random sort of disasters. I like random disasters. You know, sort of adds a weight to it. Point is, I'm getting distracted. Where was I? Yes. Father maybe unconsensually sleeps with the maid and then continues sleeping with the maid, cheating on his wife that he promised a monogamous relationship, and that's the problem. It's not about the non-polygamy. I'm fine with polygamy. I'm just not okay with people breaking promises if they decide to make them. Yes? That's the important part. And that's a good piece of advice. It's not about polygamy itself. It's about broken promises. Yes? If people want to enter into a relationship where there are multiple people in the relationship, like a wheel and spokes, or a square, or a bloody, polycule, I don't care. As long as that's what everyone intends to do. It's about broken promises. It's about broken trust. Understand? Remember that. That's the important part. Relationships are based on trust. Point is, sleeps with a woman, has a kid. That's the main character's half-sister. Okay? Now, don't know why, but the main character's half-sister's mum, the maid, tries to encourage her daughter to try and get with Rudius, the main character, her half-brother. So that's already weird. Remember, this is an author writing this. And if you were trying to pretend these were real people, you could say maybe the maid's so, like, sort of traumatized by the weird relationship he had with the main character's father that this seems normal to her. She thinks, oh, just if I can get my daughter with the most powerful person currently in the universe, literally the most powerful person on this planet, then maybe she'll be safe. Maybe that'll be okay. It doesn't work. She doesn't end up getting with the main character. Thank God for that. I know that I want to go up to the author and say, I'm glad you didn't do that. It takes a lot of restraint. Clearly, I knew it took a lot of restraint, my friend. Thanks for not doing that. Problem is, he went, oh, don't worry, I've got an even better idea. And I was like, what's that? He's like, well, she was a bit young, it's kind of weird that Rudius would get with her, so instead, we're gonna wait till she's an adult, and then she can seduce Rudius's son. Who thinks of these things? So, main character's father, sleeps with the maid. The maid has a kid. The kid is encouraged to sleep with the main character, who is her half-brother. Doesn't work, so instead she waits a while, and then instead seduces the main character's son. What the hell? My God. Huh? What do you mean? What is that supposed to mean? What does that give to the story? Huh? It causes me physical pain, but it does make me laugh. Because, I'm a Winters. We laugh through the pain. We laugh when something painful happens. We smile when we're in the dark times of our lives. Point is, just weird. And I recently saw someone talking about it on Reddit going, hey, that is kind of weird. We're up to some soap opera territory. Honestly, I think the series went on too long. Like, my God. That series. It's just so weird. Why? Though, I think there is a version of the story where Rudius also sleeps with his half-sister. And then that half-sister also sleeps with his son. So that is just a something you'd find on a black and orange site. That is something you'd find in like a title and description of one of those sites. Point is, what a nutcase. And also, just a strange story. What's the point of that? Like, what is the point of all of this? That's the problem. But yes, very, very strange. Makes my life painful, though. Let's get back to talking about tea, if we can. Yes, very strange, very strange. Please go away, I don't want to see you again. Mushoku Tensei. But I'm glad people don't like it. I'm glad I wasn't insane. It just felt like, from what my nephews could find. Because I mentioned I've watched part of the series and read part of the series. And I just said, I just can't do this. Tried to give my nephews, and I'm like, one of my nephews is like, oh, well, I guess I'm just entertained easily, so maybe it was just me just reading this sort of slop stuff and not realizing it was that bad. And I was like, maybe it is that. And then we had a long discussion about it, and then we looked it up, and it turned out it was really popular. And that led to my current hatred for it. Genuinely, just because I found out how popular it was, and it made me feel like I was insane, and I was determined not to be insane. I swear, I've got good taste. Though I do have the same problem as my nephew does sometimes, which is I can watch really basic, not very exciting series and be quite entertained. It's all about how you sit down to watch it, I suppose. What you're intending to get from the experience. Like, I watch something like Mononoke, not Princess Mononoke, not the Studio Ghibli film, but the sort of weird, avant-garde anime, horror, mystery anime, Mononoke, and I quite enjoy it. It's very high end. You would never introduce that to somebody who's just started watching anime. It's definitely a deep cut, so to speak. It's very popular amongst anime watchers, but it takes a lot to watch, and some people just won't be able to watch it because of the sort of way they do sound design, and visual design can be quite gaudy and painful, probably. Some of the sounds are just, very gross, you know? Oh, the sound design is like crackling bones. You can just imagine somebody's fingers twisting in bizarre shapes with some of the sound design they make. And that's the point. It's supposed to be quite visceral, which can be quite bad for some people. They don't like that. I think it'll set off some people with sort of sensitivities to certain sounds. If I were to do a watch-along of any anime series, it would be that series. I would sit down on stream and we'd all together watch Mononoke. So good. I love it very much. But, again, it's just taste, I suppose. Just taste. It's very interesting, though. I recently watched an anime, actually. It's quite good. I think I only enjoyed this anime so much, though, because I work in Japanese schools. It was just an anime that one of my nephews sent to me, because he came and visited me in Japan, and we did go around a lot of Japan. And we did poke our heads around some of the schools I work at, and at one point we actually chatted to the principal. It was a great time. One of my nephews, and we actually did look around a lot of the schools, and he mentioned how this anime actually makes it creates the schools in a very real way. It's almost like the backgrounds are so obviously created from actual photographs of a location. You know, it's actually photographs of the locations have been given this sort of anime styling, very slight anime styling, but it grants this sort of groundedness to it. And how they do background characters and how everyone's moving in a scene is so fascinating that sort of gives this sort of grounded feeling. And when I watched it, it gave me this sort of overwhelming sense of nostalgia because it's like the places I work. It's like my workplace. It's so strange to see a workplace of mine in an anime. Because, you know, before this, I hadn't worked in anywhere in Japan, but this was such a accurate rendering of a sort of more rural Japanese high school. Which caused it to have this sort of really fascinating feeling to me. Also, just a very good anime. Well, I had read the manga because it was a funny comedy, but the anime has created so much more weight and bittersweetness to it. It's like a slice of life, but somehow they've created this sort of beautiful blend of being funny and entertaining. I was laughing out loud, but also it's sliding into this sort of more serious, heartfelt bittersweetness of like a coming-of-age story. What anime? It's got a terrible name. In Japanese, it's called literally mmmmh, which means losing heroine. But I believe it's called Too Many Losing Heroines. Yes. It used to be a novel. It's called and they really animate the character. It's just cute, too. Very cute. And opposed to its look, it's not actually... Well, it's a romance of a sort, but the main character is never in a romance. He's really weird and probably on the spectrum. Because he's just like, oh, we're he doesn't even realize he's friends with people. People have to like, he has to make that a direct thing. He has to ask people, oh, can I be friends with you? But it's, yeah, called Too Many Losing Heroines. The way they've done the animation. Now, I read the manga before it became an anime, but the animation, just beautifully rendered. Wow. Spectacular. Characters hilarious. I laugh all the time. It's got a sort of bittersweet coming of age, and I always had a soft spot for that sort of thing. Even though my teenage years were nothing like this. Not just because I was just an unusual teenager. But I do understand this kid. Oh, it's so good. Main character's kind of weird. Weird in a nice way. He just doesn't care. What's the word? Eventually he has a whole realization that if he's alone, he likes being alone. Too many losing what? We're transpotting an anime now? No, heroines. Before the word heroine, heroines. H-O-H-E-R-O-I-N-E-S. Heroines. As in, the female hero. Too many losing heroines, makine, means it's called that because the concept of it is the main character is having a great time on his own, unbothered, living his best lonely life because he is just one of those eating at his own at a family cheap place, and he watches a girl encourage a boy, to go chase after his love in a very classic light novel scene. That's the whole thing. It plays around with the sort of light novel sort of story, you know, classic romance, rom-com style, where there's always like the main character with the two girls, and eventually he chooses one of them, and it's a whole big thing, you know? And he sees the end of that story. He watches a girl go, I know you like her. Go, quick, catch her at the airport, sort of thing. And he runs off, and he's like, I'm sorry, girl, let's go. And then the girl sits there very depressed. The other guy's like, damn, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting to see this shit straight out of a book. And then he goes to continue, you know, reading his book. But then he sees this girl do something really depressing and desperate. Which is she grabs the man that just the boy who just left. She grabs his cup and like sucks on the straw. And the main character sees that and goes, damn, that's tragic. That's really sad. God damn, why'd you do that, girl? That's just really depressing and sad, and why was that? And then he noticed, and it becomes the start of their sort of weird relationship. Only knows because I don't watch it. It's just it's a rom-com, certainly, but without any romance. At least the romance doesn't have the main character, which is the fun part of it. I like it. It's more of a group of friends just happening to get along. That's been really good for it. I really enjoyed it. It's got a nice blend of being funny and zany, but if you don't like that sort of weird zany humor, it can be quite difficult. But it does sort of fall into that sort of more serious topic. The serious topics they get into is, of course, the nature of romance. And the thing starts with its sort of thesis at the beginning of, what is it? He's like, 7 out of 10 high school relationships will end within 1 year. And of the rest that were left, most won't make it to the end of high school. All of these relationships are doomed to fail. However, as teenagers, we all still get caught up in the happiness and sadness and joys of teenage love. That's the main character making his thesis statement about it, where clearly he doesn't care too much for romance. But it's sort of that idea where it's, yes, we're acknowledging that this is just high school romance, you know? But to them, it feels important, and that's the whole thesis of it. To them, it's their whole world, which is a nice perspective. I like anime that knows what it's doing. I watch Azumanga, that's just funny. Very funny. Truly, the first brain rot, as I remember saying. Recently I saw somebody describe that Azumanga is essentially brain rot before it was a thing. Just bizarre non sequiturs. But it's sort of a beautiful anime. It actually made me feel quite connected because of the sort of realness of the scenes and how they've drawn everything. God, it's just rendered so well. The world. I don't even care about the characters' animation mostly, though those are good too, but it's the sort of really fascinating way they've rendered things. Oh no, that's what bias it. Yeah, you're right. I got my things confused. Sorry, I got my old manga confused. I've been reading a lot of them recently. No, Azumanga Daioh is pretty brain rotty. That's the one with... No, that's brain rotty. That's got that damn cat that comes in through the wall, isn't it? That's Daioh, right? Azumanga Daioh. That's the one with the bizarre cat that flies through the window. That's got brain rot in it, mate. Don't you sass me. I know what I'm talking about. I had to look it up. You've got that strange girl with the black hair who's got, like, no thoughts between her ears. And the bizarre cat that flies through the window and goes... Those are dream squeakers. Yes, but it's still brain rot. It's still sort of that non-sequitur. Joking thing. That is what classifies all of brain rot these days, as people would class it. Sort of non-sequitur bizarrity. And considering how it's persisted almost entirely through its non-sequiturs. Like, people don't see this in its entirety whenever they see it on the internet these days. It's just some bizarre scene, like the pedophile. Isn't that the anime that has the pedophile? Or the euphimophile, or whatever he calls himself? Whose whole joke is that he's just a weird, deeply strange man who's somehow married. Still very grounded, I suppose, yes. The anime certainly made it worse, I think, with its less grounded nature. Kimura. That's very funny. I knew a teacher that was called Kimura. He's the only regular male character in the manga. I do like the first lines. Great guy, he didn't make it that far. He's married, that's crazy. He's confidently displaying inappropriate behavior. His continued employment at the school, in spite of his continued blatant sexual harassment to minors and co-workers alike, is one of the series' greatest mysteries. Truly. It is. What a strange, strange character to have. Point is, I really enjoyed Too Many Losing Heroes. Because, honestly, it's quite a slow story about friendship. It's not about love, it's about what happens after love. That's the whole concept, is in every happy... I think one of the episodes is literally called The Other Side of a Happy Ending, which is the idea of it, because it's about a series of girls the main character meets, who all are in a love triangle. And it's about the sort of feelings of someone who knows they'll never be chosen, so to speak. Who knows they'll never be the one. And it's sort of a friendship, sort of story about friendships. I only care about my tier 2 in high school. First year is getting it, the other 3 is enjoying it. Yes, remember Japanese high school. We're talking about senior high school, I believe. The one weird non sequitur that still gets me is the uniforms in this series. For such a realistically sort of realized school, the uniform they wear is bizarre. It's so weird. It's so French fashion show. In a weird way. It's got like 4 bow ties on it for some reason. The guy's uniform is pretty normal. The girl's has like 4 different colored bow ties on it. Very strange. Has a sort of strange, dreamlike nature to it with it. No. But yes, the idea is it's never about romance. And you never feel like it is. The main character never seems that interested in getting romantically involved. But yes, it is very interesting. Very nice, though. I'd really just like the animation, to be honest. It is fabulous. It's just a fun time. Anyway, enough about that. Oh, I just really enjoyed it. Really, plucked at the heartstrings. It's about friggin' studying. What about studying? Yeah, well. Romance. Friendship. I do like those stories that try and keep themselves grounded in that sort of real relationship. Mostly, I quite enjoy relationships that aren't romantic. Because that was my whole life. That's my whole life. I am still a bachelor, so to speak. I haven't married. I've had a few relationships over my life. But the idea is I have a lot of female friends. And I've had so many female friends in my life. So it always never made sense to me when stories always had so much romance in them. Since when is high school about hooking up and not building a future? Well, they are studying a lot, that's the thing. They're not hooking up. Except for the characters that are. But they're not the main characters, they're the other characters. Sorry, just got some dust on my keyboard. Pointers. Most of my life has been more like this fella's life. It's just like I have a lot of female friends who often come to me for advice. I've had some really weird conversations with female friends that would have been rather inappropriate if I wasn't okay with it. Really weird ways that I've had people start conversations when I've sat down with them. Sat down with a female friend and they just start the conversation with the wildest stuff. I'm like, I'm trying to eat my lunch here, lass. That was when I was younger, though. These days, people don't do it as much. Unfortunately, schools are way behind the times and actually harming some subjects. I've heard that. I've heard that it's getting quite bad recently. It's been years since I've been in school, so I couldn't tell you. I learnt nothing in school, but that's only because I was a terrible student. I was a miserable student. It was a shock that I didn't get caned every day, to be honest. It's a shock that I still have knees, or the backs of my thighs, or hands. I was such a misbehaving student. But in like the sort of most annoying way for teachers. I didn't misbehave like with physical violence, or blowing up in the teacher's face, that sort of thing. I always misbehave through just not listening, not talking all the time to my friends in the middle of class, and finding every which way to distract myself. Playing tic-tac-toe with myself, playing solitaire under the desk, reading books, just whole novels in the middle of class. You couldn't stop me. I remember once a teacher took my book and tried to throw it on the ceiling of the school building. It was a great time. They were trying to it didn't work, but it was very funny to think if it had worked. And because it would have been hell to pay, that's for sure. Point is, I was a terrible student in the really annoying way, because it's not like I'm directly causing any problems, but except for the talking part. But if I talk quietly, which was not possible, that's a lie, I could never talk quietly. I didn't have an inside voice in high school. I only had a loud voice, because when I got really excited about something, when I was talking, I would get louder and louder and louder. Problem is, I was just a terrible student. I didn't learn because I didn't want to. I swear I've studied a few times in my high school and I still managed to pass everything, not because I'm smart, but because I'm very forgiving. You'd think that. I think I failed a few times, but actually I only failed once. That's also a problem. Even with all this not listening I did, I was still very capable of passing exams. And I wouldn't say the exams were exactly forgiving, I was just annoyingly good at remembering things, even if I wasn't actively listening at the time. It was a skill my mother taught me. Mostly because she would try and do the same things as teachers did. And try and catch me out because I wasn't listening to her. Like, she would know I'd phased out of a conversation. I was thinking about something else. But then she would, try and catch me out. And eventually I learnt how to do something else, or think about something else, and still kind of keep an ear open at the same time. Of course, I can still get quite focused in when I'm reading a book or I'm studying. I often get quite focused and end up not really seeing the right things. You know? But not hearing the right things or hearing the right things. But often, if I know I'm in a situation where I need to be listening, I'll sort of keep a ear open, so to speak. I'll keep an ear open. But, you know, who knows what it's like these days in Australia as well. Who knows? Sorry, I just remembered Japanese and I didn't do that today. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. So I'm thinking about the other thing. Anyway, interesting stuff though. High school, all about studying. I did get to see. Oh, it was also nice to watch an anime after. It's the first anime I've watched after a really long time that uses modern Japanese. I've watched a few sort of older-based anime and sort of anime that uses a lot of unusual vocabulary, but it was very interesting to sort of watch an anime and sort of put my hand over the subtitles and see if I can kind of understand what it's trying to say. Because I could actually understand a lot of it. I was really quite impressed with myself. Words that came up that are very specific to schools came up, and of course I hear them a lot because I work at a school. But also things like intai suru. So intai is a sort of specific word that means to retire, but also means to step back or to take away. But in this context, it is also refers to a student who is sort of retiring from club activities to focus on studies. It's usually like your third-year high school students who are getting ready to do their university exams. And there's a very specific term they use when they start to pull back from doing extracurricular activity to focus on studies. And that's the intai. And it turned up. And I was really happy when I heard it. I was like, yes, I know that word. It's a really specific, weird, sort of really specific word. But I know it. I know it. I was very happy with myself. Really, it's one of those things where you're like, ah, yes, I'm learning. Even at my age, I'm learning. Makes me want to watch more anime based around that sort of schoolyard stuff, because it's like sort of the Japanese I'm most comfortable with, is sort of schoolyard Japanese, so to speak. Because I hear it a lot. Probably hear it even more next year. Because I'll be moving to different levels of schooling, because currently I'm only in an elementary school. But I have seen high schools and middle schools, but this coming year I might end up actually working at a high school. Properly. Not for very long, but I've got the easy job of filling in for other people when things go wrong. Filling in for other people in case things go wrong. Oh yes, I should probably warn, we can only go for 1 more hour. I have a meeting at about 10:30, so I can't stream for that long today, unfortunately. Got a job to do, unfortunately. I've got to find out what the ominous email I got yesterday was all about. Oh yes, and my blue card's about to run out. I didn't even realize it was still running, to be honest. Got an email recently telling me my blue card's about to run out, which was quite shocking. My blue card was about to expire. Soon! Soon I will be unable to work with children in Australia. What a tragedy. Or at least I'll have to get another police check before I can. Blue cards are a strange thing. I got mine because I did a lot of stuff with blue cards. I just forgot they went out of date. I keep forgetting that. It's a good thing, though. Get a police check if you want to work with children. As long as you have a clear record, they will allow you to work with children. It's all very useful stuff. All very useful stuff. Ah, dear oh dear, my knees. My right knee has really been giving me grief recently. My right knee has been giving me really some grief. Dear oh dear. Oh, excuse me. Oh yes, speaking of interesting things, did you see that recent trailer of the Silent Hill game? See any of the trailer of the Silent Hill game? What is it? Silent Hill F. Seems like a rather strange thing to call a Silent Hill game, but you know. Be not I suppose. Because, it's a first time Silent Hill's decided to move to Japan. And it's also apparently the first one that's being rated R. I've worked with children before. They do have many types of exams to see if you're sane and have any records. Yes, similar in Australia. The big one is the National Police Check Blue Card system. That's a whole thing. You've got volunteers, and you get 2 different types of blue card. I think the blue card, you can get a blue card that's volunteer, it doesn't cost you anything, or student, it doesn't cost you anything, but if you get paid, you have to pay. If you're going to get paid for the job that you do to work with children, you have to pay for the blue card. Luckily, I'm sane for now. I don't have any record for now. That's a really ominous thing to say, J-Hank, especially when you're talking about working with children. It's a really strange. I don't know. That's. I would hope never, to be honest. It's a really ominous thing. I don't think that's come across quite as well as you'd hoped, J-Hank. It's kind of scary. Oh, you're talking about smacking a child. Oh, okay. That is slightly better, I suppose. But yeah, there's that Silent Hill trailer. Silent Hill F. Apparently, it got like an R rating in Japan. Which is very rare. Rating? Yeah. It's some pretty heavy content warnings. Blood, gore, intense violence, and partial nudity. Ooh. Problem is, it's a high school girl protagonist. I meant the trailer for Side of F. What the I don't know, man. Okay. I don't know. We're just talking about children. I saw it. I'm starting to feel like I was starting to think, Jay, God, I don't know you very well, clearly. You're a strange man. Okay. Okay. Ain't smacking. Hey, I don't watch Red Letter Media, clearly. The first game in the series to earn a CRZ in Japan, an 18+ rated. Others have garnered C or Zero D, which are 15 and 17. Because this is like, you know, this is 1960s Japan, alright, so just after the war, part of the economic miracle. And you've got the new, children as protagonists. Them suffering terrible harm. Their children. Freaking propaganda machines. What, the economic miracle? Or child abuse, gender discrimination, bullying, drug-induced hallucinations, torture, and graphic violence? These decisions do not reflect the opinions of value of the countries involved. Till you take a break or talk to somebody you trust. Oh, wow, they think it's going to be so bad you'll have to talk to a therapist. Sector 19 depicted based on the customs and culture of that time. Ooh. They're really going, this game was based in a time before this time. We do not believe in this stuff. This is just how it was back then. Schools? Yeah. Rough stuff, though. Set in 1960s Japan. I'm definitely playing that. You better believe when this thing comes out. I am playing it immediately. Ooh, baby. I'm gonna play it. Both wish to provide some details of the towns of Ebisugaoka. Oh, Ebisugaoka. Ebisugaoka. Ebisu, I assume, Ebisu is like the god, Ebisu, the god of luck. Gaoka, I can't remember what Gaoka is in Japanese. Usually. Pull out my Jisho, my dictionary. There's times I've got a lot of names. Nani Gaoka. Jisho. Gaoka. It's that kanji. Ah, it just means hill. Fair enough. Sort of like a hill or a mountain. Part of names, often. Well enough, I've not learned that kanji yet, you'd think. I'd have learned that kanji already, but... Lesson learned. Gaoka! You see it a lot. Ebisu Gaoka, so literally Lucky God's Hill. There's Ebisu, usually. Is the god of fishing and commerce. If it's the same Ebisu, of course, could be a different thing. But usually it means... It's usually referring to the god. Or at least it came from the god. I want to hear a discussion of the principal in one of the schools I worked at, because I thought my Chainsaw Man pin was a political statement. Oh, I feel like I've heard of that before. I feel like I've heard of Chainsaw Man being a political statement recently. Excuse me. Yeah, Ebisu Gaoka. God of Luck's village, eh? So let's see. The survival horror, the game which plays as a student confronting supernatural entities in a 1960s Japanese mountain town. A town I want to live in. Throw me to Ebisu Gaoka, I'll get eaten by an awful creation of my subconscious. Excuse me. But the play is effective. For third person, they explore the town, solve puzzles, interact with characters, battle enemies, mutants, mythical creatures, humanoid monsters. Ooh. Use axes, crowbars, knives, spears to defend against an enemy and kill creatures in melee-style combat. Blood splatter effects occur critically as the characters attacked. Several areas depict large bloodstains in the environment and near corpses. Some attacks can result in the players getting impaled in the neck or their faces ripped apart. Ooh, tasty. You should really play Fatal Frame 2 before Silent Hill F. I really should play the Fatal Frame games. Really do need to get around to playing them. don't know if I could get them in Japan. And they'd be completely in Japanese if I bought them. Because remember, back in the day, they didn't localize. You couldn't just change the language on the disc. Granted, these days, if you play a From Software game, you can't either. But I won't have access to the English PlayStation 2 games. Unless they're on the computer, which I don't think they are. I'd have to either find a... I'd buy the disc, I'd still buy the game, and then I would play a sort of... I'd use that disc to create a... That's what I thought, too! But I feel like that's because it's based in Japan, using Japanese-style horror, where the main character is a high school girl, because isn't that what the Fatal Frame games are too? High school girl, haunted location, terrible things happen to high school girl. Weirdly common in Japanese horror. Why is it always the high school girls? Well, ironically, protagonists of horror stories that you hear are honestly 50-50 whether they're girls or not. It's just so many, they're so overrepresented in video games. Girl protagonists in specifically Japanese horror games. But I thought the same thing when I saw it. I thought it was like Fatal Frame. And I thought it was very interesting for a Silent Hill game to be finally in Japan. I would say early adulthood, at least. Well, one of them is definitely a college student in Fatal Frame, but I'm pretty sure one of them was a high school girl. Isn't it? Fatal Frame... protagonist. 3 different protagonists. Oh, one of them is a dude. Amazing. They wear really weird outfits. Why could you see her bra in that one outfit? That's kind of strange. So in Fatal Frame 1, one of the characters is 17, high schooler. But in the third one, she's 19, and she also turns up in Fatal Frame 5 as the age of 37. She's 21. But that's a dude. Fancy. Weird. Okay. Fatal Frame 2. Main character is 15 in 73. And 17 in 71. In Crimson Butterfly and Deep Crimson Butterfly. Do not search about Fatal Frame 5. I'm not. Her hair color changes color throughout the games. But she is 15 in Crimson Butterfly. She is also 17 in Deep Crimson Butterfly, which seems like a terrible name for a game, considering they're both called Fatal Frame 2, and one just has Deep in its name. And she is also 15 because they're twins. Makes sense. Wait. Okay. So yes, those are definitely high school characters. They don't dress as high school characters, which is rather impressive, I suppose. She is definitely not a high school girl. Yeah, she's 23. Nice. She is 23, so thank God. Then you've got all of those. Anyway, point is, how to play the Fatal Frame games. Legit way to play the Fatal Frame series? They're on the PlayStation 4. Damn. It only works on the PlayStation 4. Unfortunately, no. On most modern consoles, you can play the original trilogy as the PS3. God damn it. Dang. I could probably get a PS2, but... Nope. This was playing on Xbox Series X. Get yourself a Steam Deck. I'll have to have a gander. I'll have to get a gander. There's a teenage girl protagonist in the third game, and she's one of the protagonists of the most balls in the franchise. Checking to Travis from Origins. Oh, my goodness, you're right, isn't there? Silent Hill. I forgot about that. Really? Yeah, she's the girl who gets, like, isn't one of the terrible things that happens to her, she, like, gives birth to an evil god or something like that? Isn't that one of the endings of that game? I don't know why I remember that, but that strikes me as something I remember. He, like, gets cursed by an evil god. Anyway, I want to play Fatal Frame, and it would be really interesting to play them in Japanese, certainly. It would be really interesting to play it in Japanese on an old PlayStation 2. That would be pretty cool. Imagine that. It would definitely be a choice. I'd have to put the title in Japanese, and then also put, I don't speak very good Japanese on my forehead for the whole game. So that if Japanese people did turn up... So it's one of the endings, but it's not the actual ending. Yeah, I know that, but those games always have multiple endings. God, there are so many Fatal Frame games. There are 5 of them. Just so funny to have a whole game based around a bloody... I got lucky to get the Fatal Frame games undubbed. Oh. Fatal Frame games in Japan. English subs. The only game it's only the first game that doesn't have subtitles at all. There you go. The European version of the first game does have subs, however. But I think it's only for the other languages that aren't English. Might actually have to play it in a... Oh, it was by unconventional means. I have to buy a real version of the game. And I'll play a real version on stream. Oh, hello, Billy. How you doing? I hate Six more than I love Ozzy Osbourne. Sickos. Okay. Didn't realize we were talking about music. I was talking about classic Japanese horror games, but... Alright, you hate the Sickos more than you love Ozzy Osbourne. Got it. How are you doing otherwise, though? Other than that opinion. How you doing, Billy, though? You joined us, talking about classic horror. But enough of F. Have you watched the trailer for the 2026 God Game of the Year Death Stranding 2? No, actually. Would you believe? No, would you believe? I have not watched... I haven't even played the first game. I've barely watched a trailer for the first game. I'm going to admit, I don't know if I'd ever have the patience to play Death Stranding 2. I don't have the patience for most of his games. They just... really long. Like, mate, I just want... I really want to play Death Stranding 1. Why can't you? Also, I'm just thrown for a loop. Why Billy just suddenly came in and said that about the Sickos and Ozzy Osbourne. Why do I feel like it's a meme that I don't know? Like, I know about the Sickos. I think. Are you for real? Haven't you paid attention to my lore? No, apparently. But, you know. Oh yes, because the whole PlayStation 2, I forgot, sorry J-Heck. Yeah, I forgot, you can't port Death Stranding back to the PlayStation 2, sorry. Understood. So you can't play the game, fair enough, understood. I understand. I understand you can't play it because you play the PlayStation 2, sorry. Death Stranding 2. Trailer. Oh look, it's got a sandstorm. Wow, it's like Monster Hunter Wilds. They've got a sandstorm in the game. There's weather effects in the game. Wow. It's like Monster Hunter Wilds. They're copying Monster Hunter. They're copying Monster Hunter. My PC is perfect for 2006. I understand. Fair enough. They did copy my uncle. He's designing the game. They did copy my uncle's design. Oh, your dad works for... what's his name? What is his name? So why did I suddenly forgot his goddamn name? Hideo Kojima? Your uncle works for Hideo Kojima? Oh, my dad works for Nintendo. Hideo Kojima's like, wow, Monster Hunter Rise did really well with those weather effects. Let's do the same thing. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes, oh. Sometimes works for Hideo Kojima. Understood. Only sometimes. Excuse me. My nose. Is it like a freelancer, Billy? Will you greet Andy? That's a really ominous phrase, but sure, yeah, I'll say hi. Hi, Andy. How you doing? Doing well? Having a good time? Living your best life? There you go, greeted. Not too sure what the point of that was, but Andy has been greeted. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. Big old stretch. Alright. Yes, any other game trailers come out recently? Game trailers. Why did a heap come out recently? Why did we have? Been a while since Andy Brandy was around. I know, right? It has been a while. Probably a busy fella. Probably a busy boy. Probably a busy fella. And also, you know, living his life. He'll turn back up whenever I play a Yakuza game again. I'm sure. Why am I yawning so much? Why am I yawning so much? I don't know what games are coming out this year, to be honest. Yeah, games. 2025. Let's go to Wikipedia. Oh, let's have a look. We're almost all the way through March. That's terrifying. Rise of Ronin coming out on the PC. I'm going to play that game. Get around to it. What I play in my own time. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Action role-playing game on Windows and Nintendo Switch? I don't know if it's wrong to pick up a girl from a dungeon. It's not really my thing. A visual novel called Kamisubaki City under construction. It's a name and a half. It's a Japanese mixed media project. Weird. strange games you get from when you look at it on Wikipedia. It feels like the lists on Wikipedia are so much more weird, full of weird, very specific things. That from GTA 6 and Death Stranding 2. Well, we have the sort of half-priced Elden Ring spin-off, the multiplayer spin-off. That'll be happening in May or something like that, I think. You've got another Atelier game, Xenoblade Chronicles X, the definitive edition. Rendering Ranger R², Rewind, which the Wikipedia says is a 1995 game for the Super Famicom, so I don't know why that's releasing now in 2025, but that's a really long development cycle. Oh, the Assassin's Creed game based in Japan with Yasuko and all that sort of thing. Yeah. There you go. That's also coming out. Oh, sorry for me sniffling. I've still got a bit of a runny nose. That time of year, I suppose. Yeah, I forgot about that. Bleach, Rebirth of Souls. Dark Deity 2. Blue Wednesday. I have no mouth and I must scream. Again, another 1995 point-and-click game suddenly coming out in 2025. Why are there so many games specifically coming out the 27th of this month? They must be releasing on, like, something that they don't normally. There must be, like, a new release at, like, PC or something like that. Post-Chroma? Castle of Skimmy? That's another old-looking game. God, there's been a lot of re-releases recently, haven't there? Ixion? It's strange that the story is on 11 pages long. It is indeed. It is indeed. Didn't a Ninja Gaiden game come out recently? Wow, so many old games re-releasing for PC. That's nice. I like people trying to keep new old games, you know, running. That's really cool. Oh, excuse me. Days Gone, Forza 5, MotoGP, Doom, The Dark Ages. Oh yes, that's coming out this year, isn't it? If you've ever wanted to play as a man with a Captain America shield covered in chainsaws and a shotgun. Sounds like a great time. The Capcom 2 Fighting Collection 2. Onimusha 2. I could have sworn they already came out with. Kind of weird. Yeah, that's the original Onimusha 2. Haha. Wow, what a blast from the past that is. Good old Onimusha. Truly, early 2000s. Truly as early 2000s as one can get. Got a remaster though. That was a PlayStation 2 game. Ever played one of those Onimusha games? Hey, J-Hank? I don't particularly find it interesting what they did with the Doom past 2016. Medieval Doom. Except he still has a shotgun because they couldn't get away from having that. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. There you go. What a name. Onimusha 3 is what I face all the time. Has Gene Reno. Oh. Oh, when was it? I think I only ever played one Onimusha game, and for God's sake, I can't remember which one it was. 3. What Onimusha game did I play? No, that's definitely not it. I played one of them, and I can't remember what it was. No, I don't care about you. Why does he look like Jackie Chan? Oh no, he doesn't look like Jackie Chan, he looks like Bruce Lee. Why does the main character of this Onimusha game look like Bruce Lee? What Onimusha game did I play? I can't remember now. Can't remember. I played one of them. Elden Ring Night Rain, of course. Play a bit of that. I can't imagine we'll play much of that. I'll probably play it more with my nephews. Or I can make you all play with me if you all can play it. Harvest Moon. Ooh. Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Sounds like you just needed to go on holidays. Sounds like Death Stranding 2, the beach episode. Oh, we've got to the part of the screen where I just look at things. Tales of the Shire. That's a strange. Shoni is only showing the AI voice display. Huh? What does that mean? What is it gonna do? You get to command your PlayStation 5 to do something with the power of your voice or something like that? What AI voice display? What does that mean? The Shire game's gonna flop so hard. Excuse me, I'm yawning now. Oh my goodness, the Shire game sounds so boring, I almost died. Excuse me, another terrible sniffle nose. All these games are making me allergic. Borderlands 4 is coming out this year? Christ. When did they announce that? When did they announce that? Otherwise, not really anyone else. What's the list of things that haven't been given a release date this year? Achilles, Survivor. Altars. The Altars. Ooh. Nothing really interesting in the non-release section. Another Atelier game. They're everywhere. Gonna make the characters voiced by AI and they're gonna interact with the player. Oh, I've recently seen a horror game based on that concept, where it's like a weird dating thing where I watched a person who played a heap of like weird AI games, and one of them was one of the ones that seemed the more compelling was like a girl who was like powered by AI in the game, and you'd have to it was like an escape room, but you had to use AI. You're trying to convince the AI to do things for you, or convince the AI to do things so you could get away from them. But yes. They did it with the girl from Horizon, and the VA from that was pissed at how they used their voice for that. Yep, that's why everyone on the voice SAG-AFTRA has been, the Voice Actors Guild has been striking about that recently, haven't they? The old AI protections. AI protections. Yes. Yes, it's very interesting stuff. Excuse me. Oh dear, oh dear. Hello, Popcorn Kitty. I'll admit, I don't strike him out on anything. People striking fomented the use of AI. The people striking. Oh, okay. So they avoided the use of AI because of... But yes. Take track tricks. Hey, how can I know? Well, Popcorn Kitty, hello to you. By the way, ni hao. It took me a while to recognize that series of Chinese characters. I haven't done Chinese in a very long time. My English is a little... Oh, it's okay. I apologize if my English is too quick. But it's fine. How are you doing? How are you, Popcorn Kitty? Yes, it is St. Patrick's Day, isn't it? Forgot about St. Patrick's Day. I did forget about St. Patrick's Day. Right, there's today's saint. I'm a hunt for a leprechaun, damn. St. Patrick's Day is a celebration. It used to be. It's an Irish celebration, isn't it? St. Patrick's Day. Leprechaun. It's fine. Nobody knows how to spell leprechaun anyway, J-Hank. I've never been much a celebrator of St. Patrick's Day. Well, Australians don't generally. Well, they love St. Patrick's Day for one reason. Everyone gets drunk. That is pretty much the only reason of why everyone does it. St. Patrick's Day is just about how when St. Patrick got to Ireland, I think. The idea of St. Patrick arrived in Ireland. And it just became a day everyone got really drink. I'm sick of my bone pain. Ow. Well, I hope you get better. Oh, go on, kitty. Sounds tough. Bone pain. Might have a flu. Might have the flu. The influenza. But yes, good old St. Patrick's Day. There is no St. Patrick's Day greeting, I think. Is there a St. Patrick's Day greeting? La Fée Bag, the Festival of Patrick. It's fascinating that that sort of spread as this cultural touchstone associated with the color green, luck, and an extremely large amount of drinking. Just funny. Most countries celebrate? Yes. Most countries celebrate, but it's not a religious celebration anymore. I think why it became such a big day is because on St. Patrick's Day, they were allowed to eat and drink, even though usually it was a time of fasting. It was Lent, I believe, because you have Shrove Tuesday, the start of Lent, which is the 14th, and then on St. Patrick's Day, after a heap of not eating, they were able to drink a lot and eat a lot. And it's an excuse to get drunk. Because, yeah, it was Lent. It's a time where you're supposed to fast and eat unleavened bread. But then St. Patrick's Day was allowed, you were allowed to drink and eat whatever you wanted. Only for that day, so everyone partied really hard so that they would go back to being nice, good Christian people the next day. But most countries celebrated, mostly to drink. Lots of alcohol. Shots, and all that sort of thing. Yeah. And the little magic gold turned me into a platypus. The second I touched the gold. Why did you touch the gold? You're supposed to eat the gold. And then you're not technically... You're sort of consuming the gold rather than stealing it. But yes, it was... Yeah, a lot of countries celebrate. I think... Was it Chicago that colors their river green? Is it Chicago that colors their river green? Green River... St. Patrick... Green River. Who's that? Yeah, it is Chicago. There you go. Chicago to Mary makes its river bright green for St. Patrick's Day. I am sure that is great for the environment. I don't know if I type in English or Mandarin. Well, currently you're typing in English. I unfortunately don't know much Mandarin, I'll admit. I am... Maybe I'd be able to understand sort of some, but really I haven't learned Chinese for a very long time. I apologize. So. I thought that is a cartoon character. Oh, St. Patrick. No, St. Patrick, or the leprechaun is kind of a character, but St. Patrick is a person. St. Patrick was a Christian leader in the Catholic Church in the 5th century, so about 1,500 years ago. 1,500 years ago, St. Patrick was a Christian church leader. He was the first to bring Christianity to Ireland. The country. Well, the island, actually. So, he's a character. The leprechaun is a spirit that has for some reason become associated with the day. The leprechaun. Leprechaun. So I believe it's a fairy. It's sort of like, they couldn't quite get rid of the sort of native stories in Ireland, because Scotland, Ireland, most of the Celtic sort of countries had a very powerful sort of religion that existed there, sort of a natural religion. What do they call those sort of natural religions? They're an Irish mythology thing. Point is, they're a mischievous Irish fairyman that for some reason has been associated. I think it's because St. Patrick is also associated with the colour green and clovers, and leprechauns are associated with colour green and clovers. So it's more of a association, you know? They're apparently a shoemaker. They make some very good shoes. They're a cobbler. Who would have thought? They're a bloody cobbler. What else have we got this year? Do 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 ba ba da do 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 do. Ghosts of Yotei should be coming out soon, shouldn't it? That'd be nice. Ghost of Tsushima's spiritual successor. It's like Santa and Christmas, or Jesus and Easter. Yeah. Sort of a weird association that has been created over many, many years, and people just leave it be, I suppose. It's quite surprising, really. You know what a game I do need to play is that Indiana Jones game. Apparently it's very good. And I've avoided playing or watching it because I kind of want to play it myself. Apparently it's quite good. I should play that Indiana Jones game. I think that'll be quite fun to play. Like wearing like Robin Hood. Yes. Yeah, Robin Hood also wears green. Yes. And they also have a pointy hat. Different style though. Different style though. Leprechauns are known for their sort of tall hat with belt buckle. Sort of looks like a pilgrim. The pilgrim hat. Whereas Robin Hood is known for the not a tricorn. I can't remember what that style of hat's called. But with the feather in it. Robin Hood hat style. Okay. A bi-rocket. A bi-cocket? Yeah. That's what it's called. A bi-cocket. He wore the weird little pointy hat. You play movie? No, no, no. Indiana Jones recently had a video game. They made a video game on... yes, so the movie, yes, the movie series, Indiana Jones, very popular, love it. Should also watch them again. Recently had a video game made about it. Not the movie, a completely new... Bi-cocket. Funny name. Yes, a video game made based on the movie, so... Do that Indiana Jones compete with the Lego Indiana Jones. It is quite good. The Lego games tend to be quite good. They're very funny. But yes, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Action-adventure game. A new story. I quite enjoy they've done a new story, you know? They weren't trying to do the same old story, you know? I don't know why I keep saying, you know? Do you know? But yes, it's not the same story. I quite enjoy they've decided to make something new rather than something... make a game of the movie, you know? Though Lego Indiana Jones was quite fun. I do remember it. La Storia della Arcana Famiglia. Okay. Legend of Babu. Little Nightmares 3. Great Circle and the sequel, The Little Square. The Great Circle and the Lesser Square. There's a third Little Nightmares coming out at some point. My god, they're still making them. There's so many games with the Lost in the name. Oh, excuse me. The mid-sized triangle. The greater circle, the lesser square, and the middle triangle. Very funny. An untitled Mario Kart game is coming out. I do like that. Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra. Metroid Prime 4. Oh yeah. That's being developed, isn't it? That is being developed, isn't it? A Neptunia game, classic. Good old Ninja Gaiden. Nitro Express, no more room in hell. But yes, so anyway. Very interesting stuff though. Very interesting stuff. Seeing all the games that may be coming out. Pathologic. That's a game I've never played, but my nephew says I should. Is Pathologic. Anyone here played Pathologic? The sort of weird, vague, dreamlike, avant-garde mystery game that is Pathologic. The weird Russians. You trust a Russian, or whoever they are, to make a bizarre game. I know a mod for GTA 3 that came out recently. It's all a new story. Oh, okay. That's not what I was asking about, but yeah, interesting. So they made a whole new story for a PS2. How'd they do that? How the hell did they make a mod for GTA 3 on PS2 and create a whole new story? How's that? How did they do... What? How did they do that? How did they do that? PS4 still popular here? There? Me? Where I am? No idea. I'd say the PS4 is still pretty popular, I'd say. Though... Yeah, mostly because PS5s are still a bit expensive. Poor old J. Hank, your other chat member there that's talking, he is a die-hard fan. He is only a fan of one thing and one thing alone. He has only one love in his life, and that is PlayStation 2s. But the PS4 is still alright. I liked the PS4. I currently don't have my PS4. It's still in Australia. My current console is the PS5. I currently have the PS5. Here's from a place where PS4 is still popular. It's still generally okay. People like playing it. PS4, you can play some PS3 games on it. PS3 is probably the more popular of the two, though, I'd say, because if it's not the first console, you may as well get the console that you can at least play the old games on. Because PS3, you can play a lot of older games on it, I think. That's the advantage of the PlayStation 2. Practically play all the PlayStation 1 games on PS2. Shows you how the PS3 is still getting updates. Hey, they're still running the servers. It's crazy stuff. They must have found some very efficient way to run the servers for the PS3. Because otherwise they would have gotten rid of it immediately, being too expensive to run those servers. God, there's a lot of games that haven't been announced. My God, there are so many of them. So many. So many. Video game based film and TV. It's a strangely specific list. We have that, whatever the hell that is. Oh, it's an adult visual novel. Never mind. Ooh. They're making an anime about it. Ugh. Promise of a Wizard. Tasokade Hotel. That's an ominous name. You've got, of course, a movie based on Miku. Hatsune Miku. Is that Hatsune Miku over there? Very funny. Devil May Cry! Oh, that's getting an animated series, isn't it? Good old Devil May Cry. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the movie. What did you promise, Eric? That Devil May Cry? That I would play PlayStation 2 eventually? Or that I would finish at 10 o'clock? I want to especially store that sell game in my country. Less people say, that is true. Yeah, specialty. Yeah, specialty sell game there. DMC already released, I think. Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, it is April 3rd. No, it's April 3rd that it comes out. So it's not open, it's not released yet. It's next month. So look, less people say it's fair. If it's not as popular, sometimes it's kind of hard to get those games. Often, and a lot of games, PC is sort of the king. I'd say places like Korea, China. Korea and China probably have more PC being the dominant sort of way of playing games rather than consoles. Promises of Wizard, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just a video game, I think, an animated television series based on a 2006 iOS game. No, 2019 iOS game. Sorry. Called, literally, Maho Sky no Yakusoku. Maho Sky no Yakusoku. The Promise of a Wizard. I do like wizard in Japanese. Maho Sky. So literally, magic rule user. Magic rule use. Magic use. Maho, magic. Sky just means to use. Sky. Sky. Sort of a TSU sound. No Yakusu. Literally, wizard is just magic user. Maho shoujo is magic girl. Girl who is magic. Sage whose name and gender can be changed. Yeah. I don't know, just a few days ago I got the first light novel from Haruhi Suzumiya. I think it's 1 out of what? 1 out of 11. Oh my god. Are they still releasing Haruhi Suzumiya light novels? Didn't the author stop writing for ages? Good old melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. TV game sets, probably not so famous. Yes, I see. Yeah, consoles, as they're called in English. Console. Very popular from where I am from. Australia. And also quite popular in Japan, too, where I currently live. Is she still making them? And though they all released, they are hard to find. Yeah, because they didn't really publish that many, did they? Oh, yes, there you go. Intuition of Haruhi Suzumiya was announced in August 2020 for a release in November 25. After a 9-year break from publishing. There you go. So they've got one more. There's 12 now, J-Hank. Sorry, mate. They're making more now. Can't escape them. They're everywhere. Good old Endless 8. They'll never escape the Endless 8, J-Hank. Which is the anime because they ran out of content, so they produced an anime season which was half the same episode. Artistic view of it? Kind of a smart idea. Not artistic view? Bad idea. Anyway, I got distracted. And actually, they were published 11. I actually got 1/3 one thing. Okay. Excuse me. Oh. Fortunately, I don't think many people want to sell them anymore, or even have it. Yeah, it's probably about, especially light novels, are far, far less popular than manga and anime, to be honest. There's just a lot, novels in general are less popular these days. It's a shock a bookstore even exists in this day and age. Even people exist. It is so sad. Well, it's just what happens, unfortunately. Books in general have gotten less popular. I like myself a good book, but it's hard to find them. Now I'm in Japan, it's almost impossible to find one I can read. Though it'd probably be good for my Japanese if I did more reading practice, to be entirely honest. Probably. Yes. Who knows? Young people's nothing better than reading an actual book. Yeah, I like a good book. I like myself a good book too. But what can we do? It's just how it is. Also, space is a big problem. I think one of the main reasons books have gotten less and less popular is people just don't have the space to have a library or a study anymore, you know? Who has the space in their tiny shoebox apartments to have enough books these days? You know, it's kind of tragic in a strange way, the loss of large spaces. I said it before I could finish the sentence. Yeah, well, you know. You gotta stop pressing enter so fast, J-Hank. You're moving fast. Your mind's moving faster than your hands. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. People do live to love in shoeboxes inside of a giant box. That's me right now, and I'll be moving to a shoebox twice the size. I'll be moving into 2 shoeboxes very soon, which will be happening this Saturday, which would be nice. I'll be moving into 2 shoeboxes. Pray for the internet connection that already exists at this house. I don't know if it'll actually work, but we'll find out when we try and stream next week. We'll find out when we try and stream next week, that's for sure. We will try and find out. Yes. Oh, excuse me. There you go. Anyway, one of these days I'll figure my life out. Hope good weather, yeah. Yes, it is. Sorry, I missed you, Pipcone Kitty. It is good weather right now. Very sunny. Very shiny. I'm blinded by the light coming in through the window. Absolutely blinded. Makes it quite warm in here. Makes it quite warm in here. Anyway, I think we will finish there. Sorry, I'm getting distracted, which means, hang on, it's soon going to be 10 o'clock. Which means it's soon that I have to do that phone call meeting. So, we are going to have to finish it up there. Because I have places to be. Unfortunately, I am an adult with a job, and I need to continue talking to people with a job. Anyway. So. Thank you all for watching, everyone. Thank you for coming, Popcorn Kitty. Wait, what was the old man's dream? I wonder what it is. Leave it with a mystery. We don't know what the old man's dream is. Or what I cooked. Quickly, let's run through it. Drinking, tea, cooking, tofu curry and tofu spaghetti bolognese. Both quite nice, actually. But tofu doesn't really taste like anything. I know what you're referring to. Tofu doesn't really taste like anything, so... But it's good. Good old tofu. Gotta love myself some tofu. Doesn't taste like anything, but it does mean it just tastes like spaghetti sauce, which is nice. And so it does taste like curry, but with tofu in it, which is nice. Both nice meals. Moving. We did talk about moving. I'm moving this coming Saturday. And I do have an internet connection at the location, but it is one provided by the apartment complex. So if it is fast enough to stream, we do not know. We're gonna find out. Scary. My dreams? What are they? Who knows? Maybe something to do with this phone call I'm having after this. We don't know. My dreams is just to keep doing what I'm doing. Not having a consistent schedule, and never getting any bigger as a VTuber. It's how I live. Woo! Anyway. Yeah, so, the dreams. Who knows what my dreams are? To continue living until my bones turn to dust. A true mystery. Your hair is realistic. Oh, thank you. I do go to a good barber shop every time. I wish I had my hands to, like, dramatically flick my hair, but yes. I do like my hair. Nice and puffy. Truly like real life. Sort of a slight wave to my hair. Got a slight wave. But thank you, Popcorn Kitty. I do like when people say I look good. But yes, we have to finish there. Sorry. Only a short stream today. Only a short stream today. But I've got work to do. So, yeah, chat, and remember, the old man's dream of the friends we made along the way. Well, maybe they were. Who knows? Who knows what the old man's dream was? Could be the friends we made along the way. Could be the money I made along the way. We don't know. It's a mystery. Could be the tea we drank along the way. But, as always, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Popcorn Kitty. Very nice. Oh, no! Oh! We almost got through the whole damn stream without one of those dudes. Bastard! Damn it! Ah! God! We got almost the whole way through without a bot. Did you make money out of this? Absolutely not. I make zero money. I don't think I'll ever make money from this. But yes, thank you all for watching. You've all been good. And as always, good night. Sleep tight. And, don't let the mystery of what the old man's dream is bite. So nighty night, everyone. Bye-bye.